Oh, here we go. There we. Hi, everybody. Sorry about that. You got to hear me talking to myself. Yeah, how are we all doing? Thank you for showing up. I really appreciate it. Hi, Rachel, Tiger, Georgia. That sounds really warm, actually. Anne, hi, Anne. Hi, Kathy. Hey, Amy, Joe, Deborah, Susan. Hi, Ronnie. Glad you're here. Ronnie's our helper, and she's wonderful. Susan's here. Hello, Susan. I love this cheesy dish. I love cheesy dishes. I really do. Cheese is my love language. Um, Elizabeth Stewart. Hi, Debbie. How are you? From South Carolina. Colleen's here. Luz is here. Cam's here. Joe's here. I'm so glad you guys are all showing up. Jillian and Carrie Lynn, welcome, you guys. So basically, this is just an herb chat. I thought I would try to start doing these every week or every other week, just basically to say hello and to talk with you guys and just interact a little bit other than just recorded videos. Because I actually enjoy this a little better. I actually enjoy the live chats a lot. And I do these with our student groups. Hi, Terry, sis. How are you guys doing? Thank you for being here. Oh, Rachel says Tiger is in the mountains of Northeast Georgia. Wow. I wonder, do you guys have mountain lions and things there? We have them up here. Hi, Donna. How are you? And oh, Jillian, thank you so much. Jillian says, I so appreciate you and all that you have brought us. Hi, Lynn. Hi, S from Tennessee. I want to say this really quick because Joe brought it to my attention last week, but evidently I didn't know because I'm looking at StreamYard. I don't see the YouTube thing that you guys see. And evidently there's something where you can like give me money. Which that's not why I'm here. I want to just say that I really appreciate it. It helps keep the channel going, honestly. But I didn't even know that that was happening. So I don't know that I will know today. And so I just want to let you know if you don't say anything, it's because I'm not seeing it. And I hope that we can maybe figure that out. But like StreamYard has a different view than YouTube. So, hey, Joy, how are you? And Mary's here. Amy says, I like this on Sundays. Nice to wind down before starting the new work week. I know, Amy, Joe, that's what I think too. You know, we rush around in the morning and go to church and, you know, and basically I just try to wrap things up before the week starts, hard and heavy, right? And I think it's a nice way just to say hello, touch base, and talk about herbs. If you love herbs like I do, what a great way, right, to use a little 30 minutes on a Sunday. Hi, Aisha. And Rosea is here, and Hot Rod Gardens is here. That's cool. Love that name. All right, you guys, if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. And I guess I should look at the community and see if there are any questions over there. Let me just look real quick here. Let's see. Oh, and I should tell you a new video came out this morning where I was showing you how to do a tincture, a hawthorn berry tincture, the right way, not the lazy person's way, which I've done before. Let's see here. What was I? Oh, I was looking for the community posts. Here we are. They've changed things a little bit. And I have 4 comments in here. Let's see. I think. Nope, I guess I don't. Well, that's okay. We'll just chat. Amy Jo says, I saw your video. Your new classroom will be so nice. It's getting there. It is so nice. It's wonderful. I'm thinking I can probably fit to 20 students in there, depending on what we're working on. Like if it's something like soap making, it would be a lot less students. But so yeah, so if you're in the area, or if you want to get a group of women together or whatever, or you could even just reach out to me and we can just plan something together. But yeah, I'm planning on doing some teaching in there, and I'm really excited about that. Hi, Sue. I'm from Northern Maine. 91 here today. Oh, I know. It's warm here too. It's so warm. Northern Maine, that's really warm for Northern Maine. My goodness. I didn't know you guys got that hot. Hi, Ant from Australia. Let's see here. So I see a couple of questions. You know what? If you guys could do this, if you have a question, type question in all capital letters first, and then I'll see it. And I'll more easily see it, I should say. Oh, we have Norman from Costa Rica. Oh, I've always wanted to go there. Oh my goodness, it looks so beautiful. Let's see here. Harmony says, just came in. How on earth do I treat eczema? Extremely itchy eczema. So when we work holistically with plants and other measures like lifestyle, one of the things that we always want to keep in mind is going to the root cause. Now, eczema is one of those mysterious, skin conditions that just shows up sometimes for some people. It might be triggered by a sensitivity. It might be triggered by, maybe even an autoimmune issue. It could be triggered by a food. It could be triggered by toxins in your environment. I actually kind of think that's probably the most likely cause in most cases, are just environmental toxins, like things like your laundry detergent, please don't use dryer sheets. If you use those, they're terrible for your skin. But things like that can irritate your skin. Lotions and body oils and creams that aren't natural, oftentimes they contain chemicals that are very, very irritating. So I always suggest thinking about when it started occurring, and if you can identify anything that was going on at that time, or something, maybe you changed to a new product, maybe you tried a new food, along those lines. Next up would be your immune system. You want to keep your immune system healthy, and that actually applies even to skin irritations and things like that. Always be working on making sure you've got enough vitamin D and zinc, and making sure that you're getting enough sleep, that your stress is under control. All of those things can make a big difference with stuff like this. Now, in order to work with the eczema symptoms, now I just want to talk here about allopathic versus holistic medicine. Holistic methods are way different. So an allopathic person or a medical type person is going to say, oh, here, let me give you a pill, or here's a cortisol cream, or here's something to just, cover it up so it's not discomfort or uncomfortable. But it doesn't really solve the problem. Where holistically minded people, we want to solve that problem. So just keep that in mind. And then I just want to say that you obviously should treat the discomfort. So I like to use herbs that help with itching. So chickweed is a wonderful anti-itch herb. Plantain is another wonderful anti-itch herb that you can use. Even comfrey can be really helpful. And believe it or not, oats, just good old oatmeal. You can take oatmeal baths, and that often soothes the skin wonderfully. And then certain essential oils can be very soothing as well, like lavender can be helpful, and even rose. So I have an anti-itch salve recipe that's on my website. In fact, I don't know if Harani can grab that, but let me see. I can go over here and see if I can grab it real quick. I'm just Googling Healing Harvest Homestead Itch. And I know it'll come up because it's my anti-itch balm. So I'm going to put that link in here for you guys. And if you want to, you can open this up. I do not know. Oh gosh, how do I get to the comment? That's weird. I just want to make a comment and it's not. It's not letting me put a comment in. I'm sorry, you guys. That's weird. It's asking me to share my StreamYard link, and I don't want to do that. Okay. Oh, good. Oh, didn't run. Nope. Well, anyway, there is a Google Healing Harvest Homestead and then itch, and that will be the first thing that pops up on your screen. Oh, thank you, Harani, so much. You're awesome. So she's got the link in there too, so you can just click on that. Hopefully, it'll open up in a new tab, and that has helped quite a few people. It's a very simple salve. There's honey in it. There's oats in it. There's helpful herbs like calendula is in it. Calendula is another one of my favorites to use for that. Okay, let's see here. Anth says from Australia, do you have any experience with mastic gum of Chios grease? So no, I've used mastic, the essential oil of it. I've worked with that a little bit, but not the actual gum. I think it's an incense gum too. Pretty sure you can burn it. But other than that, I really don't know a lot about mastic. And then question Parasite Cleanse. They are all over the place right now. Carrie Lynn, so there are some really good cleanses online. I would suggest that you do a search for those. And here's the problem with parasites. They're all different, so it's going to really depend on what you've got going on. I don't like giving advice on something like this unless we're having a consultation, a one-on-one consultation, so I can talk with you a little bit more deeply about what is happening and the symptoms and everything. But garlic is usually really, really helpful for parasites, and thyme herb is helpful for parasites. This is for animals, but there's a site called Fiasco Farm, and the lady who runs that site has created and formulated an herbal formulation for parasites and different worms and things like that in the body, and it's for animals. But humans can use this stuff too. I've looked at the formulations, and they're really, really quite nice. So you can look at that and look at her ingredients. She's got a 2-part formula. So you use part of the formula for a period of time, and then you go to the second part of the formula for a period of time. And one of the reasons you want to do that, no matter what you're working with, is because usually those anti-parasitic herbs, the vermifuge types of herbs are really powerful, and they can actually be a little bit hard on your liver. So those are just some general ideas about parasite cleansing. Let's see. Jillian says, question, I made a mistake and left my St. John's wort oil infusing out in the sun too long yesterday, and it is 107. Can it be saved? It is browner than it was. You know what? That's a rough one, because 107 is pretty warm, and it kind of depends. I would do the smell test on it. If it smells like it's off or it went off, then it might be ruined. But you might still be able to save it. I would bring it in and just let it continue macerating and strain it off and just see how you like it. If it doesn't smell bad, you're still going to get some benefits. Unfortunately, the sunlight can degrade the oils and the herbal components in the oils if it's too high of a temperature and left too long. So if you think you might have done that, then I wouldn't say it's ruined unless it smells bad. But so never fear there. You can still, go ahead and use it. But yeah, you do. If you lose that beautiful red color, you can't bring it back. It just doesn't come back. Garden State so-and-so. Love that name, Robin. I'm new to everything. I'm wondering if I can infuse comfrey and or cayenne in castor oil. You can. Now, I just want to talk about castor oil for a moment. It has wonderfully absorptive powers. Like, it really helps get into the herbal components, absorb into the skin. And for that, it's wonderful. And it's also, it's a really nice healthy oil for people to use as a carrier. The problem with it is it's super, super viscous, which means it's thick. And because of that, castor oil tends not to extract the herbal components very easily. Like, it's pretty difficult. So what I always suggest people do, if you want to have castor oil in your infused oil, is to mix it with some a thinner oil. I would suggest like grapeseed oil would be really nice, because grapeseed oil is a drier oil and it's thin. It's a much thinner oil. So go ahead and do a little combination of those. But yes, you can. I was going to tell you something else just now. It popped into my head and then it popped out when I was talking. So I'll try to remember what that was. Oh, I wanted, before I go on and answer more questions, I want to just tell you, I've got this home apothecary guide. I've got lots of free guides, actually, but this one's my newest one, and you can get this. Only problem is I can't give you the link in here because I can't make a comment. This is terrible. You know what I'll do? Since Joe is on here, I am going to send him the link. Hopefully he'll see this email. And
if I can get the link, I'll put it in there.
Oh, okay. You know how to get it? All right, let's see. Anyway, this guide is a good one if you want to get a home apothecary started. You wait for it. He'll be putting it in just a second here. But I talk about the tools that you need and some of the plants that you might want to consider, how to get it started. So it's a good little guide. I think it's about 29 pages long. And it doesn't have a lot of pictures. It's very print friendly. So you might want to pick that up. In full transparency, that will put you on my newsletter list, which I suggest you all be on because I teach every single week in it. And you learn a lot on my newsletters. And the newsletters are special. I don't put that content out in the world. Only my newsletter people get certain information from me. So it's another way to learn that's not available out in the world. So there you go. Get on my newsletter list. Get this free guide. Let's see here. Let's see. Jillian had a question. I got that question. I got Robin's question. Carrie Lynn, man, I'm having difficulty. I'm seeing parasite cleanses everywhere. Was going to make a tincture with wormwood, walnut, and cloves. That's a really nice combination, Carrie Lynn. You're on the right track there with those. Any issues with that? Will it work? Again, it depends on the parasites. Okay, so I would just give it a shot. I should tell you that wormwood, the Artemisia species, all of the Artemisia species are very hard on the liver, and so is walnut. So just take care and know that these should be very short-term use tinctures, and see how that goes. But again, look up the lady at Fiasco Farm, and then I know there are parasite cleanses everywhere. I feel like, our bodies are made to help get rid of these parasites naturally. If you think you have a problem, one of the things that you can do is go to the doctor and get a test, because they can test you, and then you'll know what it is you're dealing with, and you'll know what to go looking for to solve the problem naturally. So if you can do that, that is always helpful. I'm not a big fan of doctors for general, illnesses or things like that. Anything other than like if you broke your leg or whatever, you'd want to go to the doctor. But you can handle a lot of things with herbs and essential oils, and that's the space I live in. And but with that said, going to a medical doctor to get a diagnosis so you know what it is you're dealing with, especially if they run tests, that's going to give you some good information to go forward. Tracy said, question, I just harvested cayenne peppers. Oh gosh, lucky you. We didn't get a garden going this year because we were moving right during gardening season. I want to make a tincture. Do I dry the peppers first? Thanks, Tracy. Yes. In fact, with cayenne, I thought Joe brought in cayenne. He didn't. With cayenne, what you want to do is powder it. So dry the peppers, powder them down, and then you want to work with it that way, because that's going to expose more of the plant material to your tincture or your oil. And when you're working with cayenne, you want it hot. You want it very, very powerful. So yes, you can definitely do that and dry your peppers first. Pine cones on primrose. Question: what is a good herb to use in place of a daily aspirin of 81 milligrams? So here's another difference between herbs and over-the-counter and prescription medications. Herbs are not standardized, okay? So because they're a plant. So that's one that is actually impossible to answer by anybody in the world, all right? However, a really good aspirin substitute herb is willow bark. And on my YouTube channel many years ago, I think it was one of the first videos I did, so please forgive me, it's really bad. Not that any of my videos are great. I'm still kind of scared to be on video, but willow bark is a good substitute. Another plant that's a good substitute would be meadowsweet. So that one's a nice one as well. The difference between willow bark and meadowsweet is they have different pathways that they go through in the body to convert the salicin in the case of the willow bark and the salicylic acid in the case of the meadowsweet into acetyl methyl salicylate, which is what aspirin is. So you can see that these herbs are amazing because they haven't been messed with like the aspirin has in a lab. But that's something that you can look into, do some research on, and you're probably just going to have to like give it a little guess, and I'm not even sure, like with the doctor saying to take a low dose amount of aspirin, we're all different, right? Our bodies are all different, and some of us need more and some of us need less. It's just they try to standardize everything, and you can't standardize human beings, animals, plants, life, right? Creation. You can't standardize it. So we have to, again, that's why we want to work with the whole body, the body, mind, spirit, the whole ball of wax together. Anyway, let's see. I am Barbie. Bulk Barbie. Question: I just foraged red clover. I love Barbie, by the way. I shouldn't, but I do. I think she's pretty neat. Anyway, and I love red clover. Good for you. I allowed it to air dry for 5 days, jarred it with coconut oil, but didn't fill it to the top of the jar. Should I fill it to the shoulder? I want to avoid moisture. Aisha. Hi, Aisha. You know what? With the red clover, the most important thing is that you make sure that it is 100% dry, because it's kind of a juicy little flower. And especially if you're in a humid area, you want to be sure that it is all the way dry before you put it into any kind of oil, even coconut oil, which kind of firms up when it gets a little cooler. And then as far as how full you should fill it, so if you're working with dried red clover, you can fill the jar about halfway full or so with the flowers. Even a little bit more you can get away with, because there is no moisture. They're not going to expand very much. They're one of those plants that's not going to be super like absorbent. And then yes, you can fill it to the top of the jar. But the amount of oil that you use is going to be dependent on the amount of herb you use. Okay, so if you're only using like a few little flowers, you don't want to fill that jar all the way full. You probably should plan on filling it, and I'm going to give you an estimate here because I don't know how much you're actually working with, but anywhere between like 4 inches to 5 inches above the plant matter. Okay. Ashley says, can honey extract nutrients out of plants? I have a ton of fresh rose hips and I want to infuse some honey, or should I tincture it and add honey as a sweetener? Honey can extract some of the nutrients, but not very many. It's, again, one of those very viscous solvents that herbalists like to use. One of the reasons we like to use honey is because it tastes good, and it improves compliance with taking the herbs. So honey is wonderful to use. It's not a great extractive, though, in general. There are better ones out there, like you mentioned, a tincture or even like a vinegar. What I would suggest is making an oxymel, okay? An oxymel is a combination of a vinegar infusion and a honey infusion. And what you're going to get there is more of a liquid. And the vinegar is wonderful at extracting different nutrients and things. And the other thing that you can do with honey is powder the herb up very finely, and then just put, a few tablespoons of the herb in the honey and mix it up. Then you've got something that herbalists call an electuary, and an electuary is kind of like a sweet candy, and you can eat it. So you can actually ingest the herbs that way, and it'll taste really good. You can spread it on toast. You can put it in your cereal. So there's a lot of really creative ways to work with medicinal herbs and get the benefits. Anne says here, wormwood totally works. I recently used it because I had anemia for about a year and used wormwood, and it knocked them out. Awesome, Anne. I have great energy now. I use one that I buy from a farmer. That's really great. Do you know, people like to separate animal remedies and people remedies, but an awful lot of the plants can be used across the board. So Maddie, hi, thumbs up, everyone. Kim says, hey, hi, Kim. Jillian says, how about Oregon grapefruit or calendula? I think this is the eczema question, I'm pretty sure. Calendula, absolutely. The berberine in Oregon grapefruit can be helpful for certain skin conditions, and that could be another one that you consider too. It does tend to turn things yellow, so just keep that in mind. Kim says jewelweed. Jewelweed's wonderful for itching. It's one of the best herbs, really, for poison oak and poison ivy and things like that. Pam says, question, can we use comfrey or plantain herb if one is allergic to alfalfa grass? Well, yes, probably. I really can't answer it if it's not going to give you an allergy or a sensitivity, because we're all different once again. But comfrey is a very different plant than plantain, which is a very different plant than alfalfa. Alfalfa happens to be a legume, and it is problematic for people. I once saw this homestead lady talk about this magical allergy capsule she was making of nettle and alfalfa. I'm pretty sure those were the two herbs that she was talking about. And I'm like, no, because she didn't talk about the contraindications of alfalfa. And alfalfa, although it's relatively safe for most people, it does have known allergens, and a lot of people can't deal with it. So I always say, be sure before you use herbs, you look at the contraindications. But comfrey is not related. Symphytum officinale is its Latin name, and plantain, plantago, lanceolata or major, those plants are not related to alfalfa. Alfalfa is a legume and cows eat it. So Sue says, question, I have grown elecampane and marshmallow plants this year. Can I harvest anything this year, or should I wait until next? Yes, you can harvest, Sue, you can harvest whatever you have around you that's ready to go. We are just now getting to the point where I can stop unboxing boxes. I still have quite a few boxes, actually, but I still have tinctures I have to unbox. But so we've been going out foraging, and it's very disappointing because we kind of missed the mark on a lot of the usual plants I like to forage. And so it's kind of pathetic. But with that said, there are plants that you can forage all the way into the fall and into even the winter time. So And depending on where you are at, that's going to make a big difference too. So if you're like down south where it's warmer, you probably have more accessible plants to you, as opposed to if you're up north and the growing season is a lot shorter. But yes, you can definitely harvest elecampane and the marshmallow all the way into the fall because you can gather the roots, and the roots are wonderful. If you still have green leaves on the plants, you can gather the green leaves too, and they're very, very helpful. And you guys, if you don't know why she would want to harvest elecampane and marshmallow, they are two really excellent plants for the respiratory system, as well as in the case of marshmallow, for the skin. And the roots usually have more powerful constituents too. So you could just wait until October, November, and go ahead and harvest those roots and cut them up and dry them and use them. Let's see here. Oh, thank you, Ronnie, for that. Yep, there's the link to the bug bites. Lynn says, question, I'm having significant pain from abdominal adhesions. Can any herbs or essential oils be helpful? It's possible. This is another medical case where you would want to try to work one-on-one with an herbalist. And I have to say this right now, you guys, I am not a medical doctor. I am an herbalist. I'm an aromatherapist. And so when I work with clients one-on-one, it becomes a very personal and caring and more intimate relationship. It's more, I spend a lot of time with people. That's what herbalists do. So it's not a quick in and out like the doctors just don't have time to visit with people. I know a lot of them want to, but they just don't have the time. So with that all said, it depends. It depends on, are the abdominal adhesions in the digestive system? Are you dealing with muscular issues in the abdomen? Like, I'm not really sure what you're actually dealing with. So I can't really say a whole lot, but look for an herbalist. And you guys, I just want to mention this too. When you start learning herbalism, when you start getting into medicinal herbs, what happens with most of us is we become our own first client, okay? Your own body, mind, body, spirit, becomes your first client. And you learn how to work with your body incredibly well. You learn how to choose the right herbs for your body. And it's very, very powerful. So I just want to say, if you're interested in becoming an herbalist, check out our School of Botanical Arts and Sciences, because we have a lot of courses. In fact, we're in the middle of an open group, student group of Ditch the Drugstore right now. So I'm showing up live in there, guiding people and helping people get their home apothecaries going. And in a case like that, I have a little more leeway to kind of dig a little deeper and ask you, hey, what's going on with this? And can you explain more? And then we can oftentimes help you create a customized formula for yourself. So that's why I like teaching in an actual course setting. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much. I like the herbal cleanse Dr. Bobby Price sells. So look up Bobby Price if you're interested in the cleanses. Hi, Lady Locust. How are you doing? Experiencing delays, but I'm here and happy to be part of this great community. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Joy. So Joy has a great blog, Lady Locust. And Joy, I don't know if you've been writing still lately. She's been very busy for a while, but we've had the opportunity to go to lunch and talk, and she's just delightful. So Anne says, oh, that's where I get mine. Good. Okay, so Dr. Bobby Price, you guys. Let's see here. Oh, good. Jillian says it still smells like the base oil, thankfully. Awesome. That should be just fine then. Let's see. Yay, we've got Canada in the house with Elizabeth. Mullein on the bookshelf. Oh, yeah. It was out in the sun. I have a table outside my office window, and I thought I better move it before it gets baked. And so I ended up just kind of tossing it onto my books, and I'm going to go get it on my hanger in a minute. I totally forgot it was there. Is grapeseed oil safe around cats? I believe so. I don't know why it wouldn't be. I would Google that and see if if it's used or not to be used around cats. I have not heard that it shouldn't be used around cats. Grapeseed oil is not one I usually use with animals or people for like things like salves or ointments. I usually just use olive oil or jojoba oil. Those are my two favorites, and they're both fine. Melissa says, question, hello, Heidi. Which essential oils can I use for making a salve for my belly after a C-section? A couple of years ago, my skin feels loose and I'm ashamed to wear a bikini at summer. Oh, Melissa, first off, women, we go through so many changes in our lives, right? And we experience so many different kinds of things happening to us in our bodies. And unfortunately, a lot of that affects our appearance. Like I'm an old lady, I'm 61. Look at this. It's like, and I'm not doing plastic surgery. So it's like, it's just gonna be there. And I think we need to embrace those parts of us because they give us they're a sign of our experience, and they're also a sign of our love for our family members and how just wonderful we are. So try to embrace it if you can. With that all said, collagen supplements might help. I do have a salve on YouTube, actually, that I did a few years ago for my daughter-in-law when she was pregnant, and she loved this stuff. She avoided stretch marks. It was really helpful. But it's a salve for scars and stretch marks and things like that. It might be helpful. But once our skin has lost the collagen and the elastin in it, it loses the ability to spring back. And that happens as we age too, hence my neck. It's like, it just is what it is. And I used to try to wear a scarf because I was really embarrassed of it. And I've just decided I don't care. I don't care. So, I would just go with it, be proud of it. Or, there's different kind of bathing suits that you can wear. With all of that said, as an older woman myself, I'm embarrassed to wear a bikini in the summertime. In fact, you guys, if you're embarrassed to wear a bikini in the summertime, put yes in the chat because you're going to find that this is a very common thing for most women. We are so terrible to ourselves. We beat ourselves up, and instead we should be looking in the mirror and going, I'm beautiful. And so what if I have crepey skin? So what if I have a little sagging bag? It's like I've gotten to that place finally, and there's so much more joy and peace in that place. So we were getting a lot of yeses here. A lot of people feel your pain. It's like, I'm there. So just know that you're not alone, and basically enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. Get out there. And I saw this on Instagram the other day. I'm not really an Instagram person. But this lady was on, and she was going through her menopause years, and she had started the I Don't Care Club, or oh gosh, I'm gonna butcher the name of it. The women. I don't know. I can't remember it now, but it was basically like, I don't care, because she was older and she was just embracing herself. And she had a picture of a famous movie star who had gone through menopause, and she had embraced her new body, and it showed a picture of her jumping into the Baltic Sea. Well, she had cellulite, and she had a big tummy, and she had baggy arms. And this is a very beautiful woman who, very, very famous woman. She still is starring in movies and shows. And I'm looking at her, just her fearlessness, jumping into the Baltic Sea in her bathing suit. And I'm like, hallelujah to you. You go, girl. And that was the whole point of that. So yes, we need to just own it, own our goodness and beauty. And if somebody doesn't like it, too bad. So yes, Joy Lee. Maddie, your newsletters are awesome. Thank you so much. I work really hard on those. I want to give my newsletter subscribers good value. You know, when you give somebody your email address, it's a vote of trust. And I do sell products and I do sell things on my email list occasionally, but I give a ton of value, and you learn stuff from me all the time. So, you know, it's a good place to hang out. Let's see here. Garden State so-and-so. Hi, Robin again. I'm enjoying learning to get around the family herbalist and the tribe. It's so amazing. I love it. Thank you so much. I know people love the family herbalism program. I put it together specifically to help people develop a customized home apothecary. So it's not some generic, you know, cold and flu course where you get like 15 remedies and there you go, and they may or may not work. No, I help people dive into what your family needs to have, and then we make and we hit it pretty hard, and then you have an apothecary. And most students they want to go through it again and again and again, and you own it for life. So you can actually take it as many times as you want to, or just keep working slowly away at your own speed. I'm really big on honoring people's places in life. Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. Time to Heal, working with the allies of wormwood, clove, and black walnut hulls. I've read it covers every stage of the parasites. It's a great combination. And I would toss in some garlic. You know, garlic's really wonderful. Binders, chlorella is a really good binder. So is some fulvic acid. That can be a really nice binder too. Conscious Gardener says, can you mix St. John's wort tincture and white willow bark tincture for pain? You know, it depends on what kind of pain you're dealing with. And willow bark is just a good general, you know, anti-inflammatory qualities, you know, pain reliever. That's because of the salicin that it contains. And I really like it, generally speaking. But so again, it depends on the pain. Some pains, St. John's wort's not going to touch, and neither will willow bark. If it's like sciatica or a nerve pain, or if it's, you know, something like that, you might want to work with St. John's wort for sure. St. John's wort has a very strong affinity for the nervous system. Willow bark might help a little bit, but I would then go into some other different kinds of pain, and you know, anti-inflammatory and analgesic type herbs too. And you can even mix devil's claw would be another one to look into. So it just depends on the pain, the kind of pain. You work with all the pains differently. Let's see here. Yes, Ashley, so true. I just want to say, wear a bikini and be proud of what your body did. It's pretty amazing. It grew an entire human. Be proud of those marks and hang in there. Absolutely. Yeah. The pressure for us to look good as women is so awful in our society. I think it dehumanizes women, and it's not right. And we need to kind of take our power back when it comes to that. I'm not a feminist at all by any means. However, yeah, there needs to be more respect for women and our bodies and what we do. So. I'm looking for another link here. Sorry, give me just a second here. Maddie says, however, what we call meadowsweet in Northeast Wisconsin is not the meadowsweet from the Northwest. This is why Latin names are so important. So if you're calling woodbet is another example of that. If you've got a common plant name that is used in a region, then if you don't know the Latin name, it might be a completely different plant. So usually with meadowsweet, we're talking about it's Filipendula ulmaria. And it could be another species of that genus as well. With wood betony, I want to talk about wood betony because it's just such a perfect example. Um, the wood betony, the kind we want to use is the, gosh, I'm thinking of spikenard now for some reason. The Latin name is escaping me for a moment. Anyway, there's two different wood betonies. One of them is amazingly muscle relaxing. It's incredible, and it's the one I like to use. And then the other one is Canadian, and it's basically a kind of a stimulant. So you can see they're like totally, totally different. You must know the Latin names of the plants that you're working with. And again, Jean, same thing. Please find the Latin name of it, then we can talk about it. And you can actually do research on that specific Latin name. What is the maximum dilution for absolute oils like vanilla? And that's a great question, and it depends on the oil. Different absolutes and essential oils and CO2 extracts as well, they're going to have different dermal maximum dilution rates. And so you just need to look those up. This book right here, Essential Oil Safety by Dr. Robert Tisserand and Rodney Young, it's very, very well researched, and he gives you a maximum dilution rate for everything. You can also just Google it, and then you'll know. Just Google what is the maximum topical dilution rate for the oil that you're interested in. Hi, Heidi. What good herbs should be taken to support a prolonged food fast on an empty stomach? I really like the nutritive herbs. The nourishing herbs, and also herbs high in polysaccharides, because they can actually provide extra energy and support too. So some of those that are nutritious would be chickweed, nettle is wonderful. Then I would want to support the body systems like the liver. So some burdock root, dandelion leaf and root are really helpful. And then those herbs that are rich in polysaccharides are a lot of the mushrooms can be really helpful. Marshmallow as well is high in a substance called mucilage. Really nice teas for things like this. Angie says, I loved your video. I don't know if I said that right, so if I didn't, please forgive me. Loved your video on chaparral. I had fresh shipped to me. I know I love chaparral. That's one plant I really miss up here because it doesn't grow up here in North Idaho. Absolutely in love with this plant. I'm in Kentucky and it doesn't grow here. It's chaparral, Laria tridentata, has a very specialized ecosystem, which is the Mojave Desert, and it does grow into the Sonoran Desert as well. Outside of those areas, you're just not going to find it anywhere in the world, and it's hard to grow. It's a very, very special plant. Ooh, this sounds good. Time to Heal says, I just made a mimosa and thyme oxymel with apple cider vinegar and raw honey. That sounds delightful. So Much Joy says, question, I heard wild lettuce tincture was good for pain. Is this true? Does it thin the blood like willow bark does? Thanks. It has different components than willow bark for pain. So it does not work the same way at all. This is where learning about the plants and learning the phytochemistry of the plants is super helpful. That's where our membership, the Confident Herbalist Tribe, comes in. And again, it's very active. And I talk weekly in that group, and we do special sessions. We learn kind of some more advanced herbalism topics like energetics and things like that. But wild lettuce tincture, it's a Lactuca virosa. It's the latex part that's in the stem that is the most medicinal part, and it's quite relaxing. It is quite pain relieving for some people. The thing is you have to get that latex, so you want to use it fresh. And does it thin the blood? No, I don't. You do some research on that, but I have not heard that it's a blood thinner. The action is completely different. Yeah, Maddie, I would definitely try to find the Latin name for your meadowsweet plant, especially if it's different. Joyce's question, what is a good multi-herb infused base oil that I can use for several types of salves and oils? I'll also infuse specific oils and blend the infusions. I found cute dropper bottles to use too. Well, there's all kinds. To be honest, you can combine all kinds of herbs in an infused base oil. So what you would want to think about is your intention for the use of the oil. So what I like to do is make single infused oils, and then I can combine them. I can kind of mix and match according to what the intention for use is. So if I'm working with aging skin or mature skin, I can put special more tightening herbs into an herb infused oil versus if I'm working with a wound or if I'm working with, a rash or a scrape or, a bug bite. Okay. But yeah, you can definitely combine your herbs. Yes. Joy says, I add marshmallow root into my herbal infusions when I get a sore throat. You might want to even consider putting some sage in there. Sage will tighten and tone the tissues and reduce the inflammation, while the marshmallow root soothes and supports healthy mucous membranes in the area. Sandra says, what are your thoughts on Lyme disease? Are there herbal ways to deal with it over antibiotics? A friend of mine has been diagnosed with it. It made me think about it. People's symptomology with Lyme is they're all different. So you have to kind of work with that and then just try to heal the body. People react differently to that issue. And yes, Jillian, hollyhock is a wonderful substitute for marshmallow. If you have hollyhock growing around you and marshmallow is harder to grow for you, then the constituents inside those two plants are almost exactly alike. So you can substitute the leaves, the roots, the flowers, everything. They're both part of the mallow family. Can you suggest an alternative to beeswax? My family is allergic to bees. Yes, Judy, if you're talking about using it like in a salve to firm a salve up or something like that, or even like for general skincare, let's see. There's a couple of plant waxes. Calendula wax is a really good one. I think that's probably the most common alternative to beeswax. And you want a form of a wax. Okay, so Calendula, it's Candilla. Can't, no, Candela, Calendula wax. Jillian says, I love that about herbalism. I am a registered nurse, and I always wish we had more time to sit with the patients aside from the hospital intake. I know. I know. My daughter is a medical doctor. She just graduated and is now in her residency. And, we've talked about this. It's like it's just impossible for the doctors to really sit and have a conversation. And I really miss the old family doctors that, the little town doctors. Like, have you watched Virgin River? Like Doc on Virgin River, and Mel, the nurse practitioner who's there. They really, really care about people and the patients, and insurance and money isn't the driving factor. I think whenever we get the government involved, we've got the insurance industry involved, we've got big pharma pushing their drugs, and I think once you get the big money factors in there, it's just really difficult to have a good relationship medically with people, but you need to try. Okay. Bama Gardner says, when I have questions about an herb and if it's safe to mix with something I take, which would be like medication, I ask my pharmacist. Yes, great point. I'm glad you brought that up because HDIs, which are herb drug interactions, can be very serious. And if you're on medications, you need to know if that medication you're taking is going to interact potentially with an herb, because some herbs can potentiate the medication. In other words, make it work faster and better. And sometimes you don't want that. And other times it can slow the effects down, and you don't want that either. So definitely, you need to be talking to people. Pharmacists are usually pretty well versed in the herb drug interactions. Bama Gardner says, "Do you know where I can find dried jewelweed?" I don't. I've never actually seen it. So um, you'll need to see if you can find somebody who has it. One of the things my students do in our community is they share plants, and so if somebody has something or if somebody needs something, they can ask in the student community and go, "Hey, does anybody have this plant?" And will people share and ship things all the time. Can I use up my dried calendula 2024 stock to make a salve? Elizabeth, yes. If as long as when you smell it, if it still smells vibrant and if the color is still vibrant, you should still be able to use it. If your herbs are stored properly, they can last. Even the flowers and the leaves can often last up to 2 years. Oh, thank you, Ronnie. She put the stretch mark salve in there. Okay, you guys, we are almost at the top of the hour. So, and I'm not, I know there's more questions. Um, oh, that's a good idea. Try dry brushing your tummy. This is for the lady with the C-section. Yes. Hey, Heidi, what state are you in? We're in Idaho. We're up in North Idaho. The We Do Not Care Club. Have you heard of that, Christine? Have you? Yes, I love her. Yes, she's a hoot. Yeah, look her up on Instagram. Her channel's exploding because she just is so real. She kind of repeats the same message over and over and over, but hey, if you're struggling with that thought in your mind, you need to hear it. Yes, time to heal. So true. It's really about also improving how you perceive others too. It really is. We need to start being kinder to each other. We need to stop looking at each other and judging each other. That's so important. And when you can stop doing that and stop, that process in your mind, you're much kinder to people, and it helps you accept yourself better too. Ashley, you were talking about Ashley Judd's video. I didn't see a video, I don't think. I just saw a picture, but so I don't know. I am not on Instagram very often. It was weird. I just kind of like happened to open it, and there it was, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this lady's great. And then I hopped right off of it, but I did follow her. So, oh, Pam, I just answered an eczema question, and there's a link up above in the chat. Yes, time to heal. I agree with this too. More people are more human looking than plastic dolly version. And there's something wrong with wanting people to look like dolls and teens forever. Oh my gosh, there is. Or at all, at all. And I see these beautiful young women, and they've all got the puffy lips and the lip curl, I think they call it, and um, I don't know, like why? And it's addictive. I've have working with mental health and things like that. Sometimes with clients, there is a dopamine effect when women do the plastic stuff, and for some people, they just want to keep doing it, and then they like overdo it, and they can't stop because they think it looks good, and it's something to think about before you go down that road. Oh, Maddie says, I should have gone through your class last summer. It's not too late. I dried, tinctured, and infused oils with every plant that was remotely medicinal. I'm cutting back this year. I know, because this happens with, I would say, every single new herbalist. You discover how wonderful these remedies are that you make. Here's my hawthorn tincture, one of the jars that I just give it a little shake here. The pectin makes the berries stick at the bottom, but it's like you learn how well they work, you feel the effects and the benefits, and then you just want to make all of them. But the fact is, you don't need all of them. You can make them if you want. You can have. I have an herb. I have an apothecary because I work with different people, but you don't need all that. You only need what your family needs to have, and that's what I teach people to do. Rosa, what is myrrh good for? Myrrh is really grounding. Usually we use it for fragrance, and you said the essential oil, basically incense. It's wonderful for incense, but it's excellent for the skin, and it does have some healing powers too. But I suggest the essential oil. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. She says, I am 64 and I love my age stage of life. Heidi, you are lovely at 61. Yes, I've just decided to, be good with it. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you are where you are. You can't cry over it, right? All we can do, and this is at any age, you guys. So if you're young, please take this advice from a grandma. All right. Stay healthy. Just stay healthy. Try to stay off, big pharma stuff. Eat whole foods. Don't be going and eating that nasty bread at the store. Like eat real wheat. Okay, if you have to eat bread, don't eat highly processed foods. I guarantee you they're hurting you. So anyway, I could go on and on about that, but stay healthy. That's the best thing to do. Oh, Pam says, question. Hi, Heidi. You have beautiful skin. May I ask what you use on it, please? Thank you. Do you know, my skin is pretty healthy now, and I didn't used to be. When I was in my late teens through my 30s, I suffered from terrible, terrible rosacea. It was awful. And it was from all of the drugs that I was on, the side effects. My liver was really messed up. And I didn't know it because I was steeped in the common belief system that I had to go see a doctor and I had to take a pill to make things better. And one doctor finally said to me, he says, you know what, I think your liver's probably shot because you've been on almost constant antibiotics for way too long. And I had 2 bouts of Accutane as well, which really harms your liver. And he said, your skin responds to, it's one of the first presentations that your liver is struggling is in your skin. And it was shortly after that I just said, I just went off everything cold turkey. I don't recommend anybody doing that. If you're on prescription meds, talk to your doctor. But I did, and I turned to my herbs. I just turned to my herbs. My skin cleared up. My skin became really amazing. I was like, whoa, this is like crazy. And and ever since then, it's been usually pretty fine. But I do take a lot of herbs. I take a lot of herbs internally. I try to use very natural products. My favorite product line is Lemongrass Spa, and I'm an affiliate for them. I don't talk about it very much. I should talk about that company more, but you can find a link on my website. If you go to healingharvesthomestead.com and then you go to the Get to Know Us tab and then scroll down, you'll see urgent skincare, because it is urgent. We women put stuff on our skin that has no business being there. And so I was looking for the most natural company that was reasonably priced, that had a good value system, i.e. it's not all about the money. And I found it, and that's Lemongrass Spa. So I really, really love that company. And also on top of that, sometimes I make my own formulations too. Hooves and Harvest Homestead says, hi, I just popped into the live and was wondering, does the Family Herbalist certification include all of the classes you offer? No, it includes a lot though. I think it's got like 173 lessons. I think it actually has more than that. It includes some of the text from the Confident Herbalist Tribe. The Confident Herbalist Tribe probably has over 1,000 pages of text with all the information in that course. The Family Herbalist Certification Program has a lot. I tried to dial down the actual herbs and essential oils that a family herbalist would definitely want to know about and be knowledgeable about. And that's how I pulled those plants together and the text together for that course. And the certification program is a lot more in depth than the basic Ditch the Drugstore is. So that's kind of a little bit about the difference between those. All right, you guys, I think we're after the top of the hour, and I need to run, but I want to put this link in one more time. Oh, for your personal home apothecary. Okay. By the way, if you are on my newsletter list, I usually try to offer a free thing almost every week. I try to put a link in there because I have so many of them. There are so many that I've made over all the years, and why not give them away to you? So this one, I don't know if Joe, if you could put the link in there for the home apothecary guide. It's 29 pages. It's fairly print friendly, so you can leave anything with pictures out, but I try to be considerate of your printing too, if I can. Let's see. So Much Joy says, oh, and I want to answer the varicose vein one too.
Have them email me for the link because I can't get the link. I just can't get it. Just have them email me the support.
I emailed it to you. I emailed it to you.
All right.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I thought you had it. I'm going to talk. I'll answer a few more questions and he's going to get the link for you guys. I did email it to him at the beginning of the chat and he didn't look, I guess. Okay. I'm going to answer the black elderberry one, and then I'm going to go to the varicose veins one. And then I can probably answer a couple more too. Let's see. So Much Joy says, I may have American black elderberry growing wild. I'm in East Texas. And Wikipedia LL said the juice is only edible. I also saw it in my foraging book, but not 100%. It's the same plant. Tips? So you want to be 100% sure that you've actually got elderberry. So what I suggest is I did an identification video on elderberry. I think it's on YouTube. And I believe I have it on my website too. So I do have one on my website where you can look at pictures, but the leaves of all elderberries look a certain way, but there's some look-alike plants that have the same leaf structure that are not elderberry. So you'd want to know, and then you need to look at the flowers and the berries and the whole ball of wax. Best thing to do is take pictures if you can through the growing season of the plant. So that includes the flowering period, and then as the flowers turn into the berries, and then the berries, because that gives people an idea of what it actually is. You can get into botany groups on Facebook, and I don't like Facebook. I'm hardly ever there. But one thing I do like are the botanical groups. Be sure it's not an herbalist group. Don't get into an herbalist group and ask for identification because half those people don't know. You want to get into a group that's being run by an actual botanist who can ask you the right questions, and they will. They'll ask you, like, what area of the country are you in? What was it, what elevation did you find the plant at? And then they are going to ask you for pictures of the different parts of the plant, and they can help you with that. Most of those people are very caring. They do not give herbal advice. Okay, so if you're in a group and there's herbal advice being tossed around, you're in a bad group. Don't be in that group. You want one that's just for plant identification. Then the other thing you can do is take the plant to your local extension office. A lot of times they have people there who can identify the wild plants. Like, they know most places have weed experts that can help too. So be sure you've got a proper identification. But if you do, that's wonderful if you've got it growing near you. Sylvia said, what's good for varicose veins? So varicose veins are generally a situation where we have lax, that means too relaxed tissues. Okay, so the blood vessels specifically tend to just kind of get relaxed, okay? And usually there's too much blood in the extremities of the legs especially, and so it tends to pool, and then the veins swell and cause over time varicose veins, and they can be a little bit dangerous. So I like some gentle lymph massage and massaging. There's certain exercises you can do too. You can actually, like if you've got a wall here, the floor is here, sit down and put your bum right up into the corner, and then put your legs up the wall. Okay, do that a few times a day if you can. That's going to help get the blood flowing back down. It's also going to help move some of the lymph out of the lymph areas, and that's going to be a little helpful as well. And then there are essential oils and herbs that can be really helpful. So your tightening herbs and essential oils include things like rosemary, super wonderful for helping with varicose veins. Juniper is another helpful herb that can be really nice for varicose veins. And then with your essential oils, you can use your stimulating herbs to help with blood flow. Cayenne is a good one too. And you can take some of these internally, not essential oils, I'm talking the herbs. Cayenne taken internally can help too. And then you can make a massage oil. Now, I want to tell you, if you're massaging your legs, I'm not talking about like a, massage like this, a real hard, no, don't do that if you have varicose veins, because if you have any clots in there, you might dislodge a clot. You don't want that. So what I always tell people is, if you're doing a leg massage, you want to just stroke gently upward, up the leg, and I show this. I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but anyway, you take your leg and you just stroke upward gently. Just stroke and get that massage oil in there, and it feels really good. And you can do that after a foot soak. In fact, on the YouTube channel, there's a foot soak video for circulation, and it's really helpful. Let's see here. Oh, Dee Dee, question, could you please point me in a direction to research an herb to take for neuropathy due to chemo treatment? If you're still on the chemo treatment, I suggest you find an herbalist locally to help with this one, okay? Joy says, I heard allulose can increase naturally GLP-1, but do you know of any other herbs that do so as well? Do you know... That's a really rough one. I don't actually right offhand. I should do some research on that though. What I would say is that the herbs that help to balance your blood glucose levels, like cinnamon, is one, might be helpful. And those kinds of herbs also tend to help you manage your appetite as well. All right, you guys, be sure you grab the link that I think Joe put down there. I'll see if it's there. Joe, did you put the link in? I don't know if you put the link in. Anyway, if you want to, you can. Oh, he says he says it's there. It's there in the chat somewhere, you guys. But you can also reach out at support@healingharvesthomestead.com, and we're very happy to send you that link too. And you can pick up the guide. All right, you guys. Oh, thank you. Ande says, Ande's Tribal Homestead. That sounds like a really neat place. Hello, I'm so blessed to catch you live. You're awesome. And I pray you know that, in the Father of Abraham and Isaac. Oh, thank you. All right, you guys. Yes, we could just talk all day, right? Okay, be sure to grab your book. And Harani put the link in for the 5 best herbs for your home apothecary, but that actually goes to my webinar. So that one may not make a lot of sense because I have a training that goes with that one. I don't know. Harani, I should have sent you the link to this book too. I will do it next time. It was like a spur of the moment thing. All right, you guys. And you can go to any one of my videos too and go to the descriptions. And there's an herbal remedy guide that I offer. And you can get that for free as well. So, yeah, I'm not seeing it either, Jillian. I'm sorry. And I don't know why I can't make a comment. I do not know why. I'm going to work on this. We'll figure it out. Okay, you guys. I will see you all in the next live. I don't know if I'll be live next Sunday. I may or may not be. If I'm just hanging out, I will be. But if we are going somewhere, then I won't be. But I will be. I'm going to try to do this every week or every 2 weeks. So just stay tuned. I'll try to make a schedule too, and that will let you all know when I'm going live, and we can just talk herbs. Okay. Bye, you guys.